Okay, welcome back. Another Beta Alpha Psi meeting, everybody. Just one reminder, this Friday is going to be the start of tutoring hours. Our tutoring link is on our link tree on our Instagram. And I think we will send out an email Friday just to remind everybody that tutoring will start. Again, the requirements, 4 hours for the semester, 8 hours for the academic year that you need to have done. So that being said, today we're going to be talking about our LinkedIn Handshake Resume and Career Fair Prep Workshop. As most of you know, the Career Fair is actually tomorrow. Very exciting that it is going to be tomorrow. And we decided that we want to do is to prepare you guys for how you're going to tackle the Career Fair. I know there's going to be a virtual one at the end of the month, so this will actually apply to both. But again, just to emphasize this, again, it is tomorrow, 2 to 5 p.m. If you have not signed up already, QR code, scan it, it'll register you through Handshake. And not only that, there is some PDP points to be awarded if you do go do it. So I know there's about 33 employers that will be coming out to recruit. I will be there myself. So again, please feel free to come to the event. You're going to meet a lot of recruiters there, and you may never know. You may land yourself an internship with one of these firms. Never know. But all right. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about LinkedIn and Handshake. We're then going to go over resume review. We're then going to do a career fair prep, and then our final thing, just for a little fun, we're going to do a little hoop game, obviously, that made off the slides. So, all right, so we're going to start off with LinkedIn and Handshake. Obviously, these are going to be intertwined with each other. So what is LinkedIn? So LinkedIn is a worldwide platform for career development and professional networking. It helps an enormous amount of people to find jobs and get in touch with employers and their desired companies where they want to work in the future. And through LinkedIn as an app and a platform, by creating and having an account that is organized the best as possible and is professional, they can increase their network and improve their careers, therefore getting better jobs, meet other professionals in their field, and achieve success. And again, it is not just another social media platform. It is a professional networking gold mine. So again, please do not treat LinkedIn like another social media platform like Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram. Treat it as it's like your resume, your virtual resume. So why is LinkedIn important? So first, to create your professional profile. Obviously, you want to control your online identity. And LinkedIn profiles rise to the top of search results when you Google yourself. You also want to stay in touch with colleagues and friends. As your contacts update their profiles, you want to keep current on their latest job posts, projects, and contact info. And finally, to broaden your opportunities, you're able to view job postings, and LinkedIn connects you with business leaders, groups, discussions, ideal business partners as well. And again, your complete LinkedIn profile will summarize your professional experience to connections on their platform, while you'll be able to showcase your skills, talents, professional experience, as well as include past or current employers and career interests on your profile. So tips for updating your LinkedIn profile. In a little bit, I will go over a live demo of a professional LinkedIn profile and a Handshake profile. But first, tell people all about you. You want to do is to add a short detailed blurb to your about section on your page. Think of it like an elevator pitch. And do not worry, we're going to cover that in a little bit when we talk about elevator pitches. But think of a 100-word elevator pitch that explains your professional objective. Describe your work experience and the type of role you are looking for or currently have if you are not on the job hunt. The second is to share your skills. You can list up to 50 skills on your page. You can ask your coworkers to endorse the skills that make you shine. Think of it as another way to show off your references. And 3, do not forget your profile photo. Yes, it should be a recent profile photo. Avoid distracting backgrounds. Shoot the photo with a soft natural light, like on an overcast day, and make sure your face covers up at least 60% of the frame. And my advice is, if you do not have a professional headshot, I know the career fair, they are going to have free headshots. Please go do that if you do not have that, because it will be worth your while to do that. And here are some do's and don'ts of LinkedIn. We're going to start with the do's of LinkedIn. You want to personalize your connection requests. Make sure they're unique. Don't make them the same generic ones. Do send a welcome and thank you message. This goes a long way, obviously. At the end of an interview or end of when you meet with somebody at a career fair, it's always polite to give a thank you message because it will go a long way. Do respond properly and professionally. Again, I always say this when we talk about resumes a little bit, spell check everything you type or post. There's free tools like Grammarly out there you can do. Make sure it's all accurate and professionally. Do have a professional headshot, again. There will be having free headshots tomorrow at the career fair, so you can go do that. Do post content regularly. You also want to personalize your recommendations requests. Make them unique and not the same like every other one you're going to be requesting. You want to nurture your relationships. Stay forefront in the minds of your connections. Introduce yourself to people, and the biggest one of all, keep it professional. 100% of the time when you're on LinkedIn, keep it professional. Now, for every do's, there's don'ts. And I have to actually update that. It should be don'ts, but don't send spam messages to your connections. Don't do that. I get like multiple messages on my LinkedIn, and they're sending me stuff like, oh, get a $100 gift card for doing a survey and this and that. Don't do that. And don't even send irrelevant messages. And on top of that, don't send messages with, I see you view my profile, because I get those probably like 10 a day. And I just instantly block them because I don't know who they are. Only connect with people that you know. That's my advice. Only connect with people that you know. Don't lock down your profile. Don't add your connections to your email list. Don't add connections on people you don't know to endorse you. Don't post self-serving content. Don't ask strangers for recommendations. If you do not know them, 9 times out of 10, they're probably not gonna give you a recommendation. When you ask for a recommendation, make sure you know who the person is and they have a good relationship with them. Do not forget to check and reply to comments. And the biggest one that I always take to heart, do not criticize others or comment negatively, please. And I always say this to everybody that I meet, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. Do not say anything negative. Just put a smile on your face and just move on. So how to use LinkedIn effectively. So you want to do is you want to connect with those whom have a common interest with alumni and professionals. Again, like the people we bring in, the speakers we're actually going to have in 2 weeks. We're going to have Anthony Spadaro come in for Bank of America, who you definitely want to connect with on LinkedIn because he's actually an FDU alumni, and even professionals. You want to send personalized messages when connecting. Enter your qualifications to stand out. Job applications. Apply on LinkedIn. And I know for us FDU students, we usually use Handshake most of the time, but again, I will be dabbling with that and LinkedIn, and include your profile link on your resume. So, and even talking about optimize your profile, I got this from when I attended a resume workshop 2 years ago. I actually wanted to point this out. Stats to keep in mind, LinkedIn profiles, special headshots, they get 14 times more profile views. LinkedIn profiles with photos get 36 times more messages, and 13 times increase in profile views for LinkedIn members that list skills on their profiles. And don't forget, include your certifications in education, and every word in your profile is keyword searchable. So be sure to use language that is relevant to your industry. And again, you have the power to control your online identity. I will be, circling back to that when we go over career fair tips. Now, why is all this important? Well, and actually, this is actually going to build up to networking. The 5 most things you want to do when building a network. Your personal brand. People connect with people. We all prefer interacting with people opposed to companies. Begin with your LinkedIn profile. Present yourself with authenticity. What you do, who do you help, who are you? 2, have childlike curiosity. Have the power to ask why. Why are people feeling the way they're feeling? Be open to learn new things. Finding your voice. Don't talk to your audience like they're dollar signs. Share and build trust. Develop a relationship. Be real and avoid corporate jargon. The law of reciprocate. People feel compelled to return the favor. If your connections express an interest in something, send them a helpful insight of that with no expectation on return. And 5, maintenance. Relationships require nurturing. Stay on top of communications even after the deal is closed. Survey when clients leave if appropriate. Now, we're going to show you now a live demonstration of what a professional LinkedIn and Handshake profile does look like. In the essence, I'm going to use myself for that because why not? So obviously my LinkedIn profile is here. So obviously this is what my LinkedIn profile looks like. Again, I have a great background. I have a professional headshot. That is my profile picture, where I'm currently studying, where I'm working at, and then obviously my personalized link. Obviously, if you do go on your own LinkedIn profiles, they should be a selection where you're able to do is edit your profile link, make it unique because we want to make you stand out. So all the highlights that I have here, highlights, things I feature. So like, for example, I was actually a CMA program scholarship recipient. I feature that and my social media marketing certification. And then my activities, so everything that I do post on there. I recently posted something about Pierre Olinto with UWorld. So I did that. And then my about page. So this basically right here is basically your 100-word elevator pitch. You want to, entice them, say, hey, this is who I am, what I'm able to do, and what I'm looking for, and top skills we have, and then in your experience. So this could be very, very long. And again, when we talk about resumes in a little bit, I will put out there like what you should put on there, what you should put on there. But again, my experience is all there. Obviously, I have a lengthy one. I'm not going to show you every one of those. My education, where I go to. If you have any license or certifications, I know with FDU Silberman, they do have a Coursera Business Academy that you're actually able to do. Again, it is worth your while. I think we do have, I think, 1 or 2 courses in accounting. So I think it actually would be worth it. Actually, I'm actually going to do that after this meeting. So I featured my ESG certification from Bloomberg. And then projects I worked on last summer, I actually worked on a case study at my internships. I featured that with Coinbase, the skills, and then basically my recommendations that I had been given by many of my colleagues that have, and then feature courses. So basically I did business statistics and business and global society as one, and then honors and awards. You put all your awards, and even you can feature those you got in high school. It's okay if you want to do that. Languages, and then organizations. Obviously, if you want to list the organizations, you can. I did that because I am part of multiple things outside of FDU. And then your interests, basically, your top, like who I view. So companies I view, like Deloitte, like Wiley, Assure, like newsletters I'm located with, in schools. So that's basically what an example of a professional LinkedIn profile is. Now, for most of us as students, we use Handshake. And I know FDU Silberman's been pushing for that. So I'm going to show that as well. So let me switch over here. All right, so this is Handshake. So for anybody who does not know how to use Handshake, I'll explain it very, very simply. It's basically another version of it. Actually, Handshake's another version of LinkedIn. So you have your jobs, basically, look at all the jobs you want to look up. I know this actually updates every day. I usually get reminders sent to my email about any job opportunities. That if the does anyone have any questions while we're waiting for the while we're waiting for technology to work today? Yeah. Might have to. Oh, just need to wait, I guess. So on here, you can view all the job posts that have been put up on our Handshake. So obviously you see Iser Apner is posting a tax winter internship. If I do want to apply, sometimes you will apply, quick apply. Other times you'll have to apply through their website. Sometimes it does happen. Like, good example, the Wilton Gun Plant. Oh, that's external, I'm sorry. And there are ones you can filter by location, on-site, remote, popular, major, full-time, internship. You can filter all those around. And then we have events. So basically with the events, you're basically able to look up all the events that you're able to attend. Some of them can be in person, some of them can be virtual. Hence this event tomorrow. Just want to push that out there that it will be tomorrow. And again, they are great events to go to. And then you have employers. So if you want to look up any employer, like let's just say, for example, if I want to look at Deloitte, because we had them in last week, for example, I look them up, and then you say, I would just go to here. And when you do that, you basically get an overview of what Deloitte is, what jobs they have featured, highlights from reviews, interviews, jobs, and about, and their public staff list. You're actually able to message them on Handshake. And it is actually worthwhile to do that. Just if you want to have like someone to get like questions about, oh, what is this company is, what internships do you have opportunities, and what's it like working at this company, do that. And that's where the inbox comes in. So every day, probably recruiters, we send you guys messages via Handshake for multiple companies, and trust me, I have a lot of those, but obviously, you want to message them back and, hey, I want to learn more about this. We set up a call, talk about it. They're there because they're interested in you. All right, now the biggest part. Let's talk about the profile. So the profile on Handshake looks somewhat similar to LinkedIn's. So basically you want to have a professional headshot like I do. Obviously, you know, the school, what major you're in, when you graduate. I actually do have to update this because this was senior year. Your journey, this basically is the same thing as your about page. So it's like your 100-word elevator pitch, your education, and then your work volunteer experience. So list that as well. And you're able to also put your interest in about, and the thing is, these employers are able to view this only. So nobody else can see except the employers who are trying to look out for you. And then basically we go down, discover more students, and you can actually view, and I just found this out today, you can actually view who views your profile. So funny enough, PKF actually viewed my profile, Bank of America viewed it, and it's actually pretty cool, very, very cool. And it'll also put in your skills, so like accounting, degree in accounting, audit, insurance, and then also list off organizations and extracurriculars. So like I'm part of multiple things I'm involved in. And obviously your documents, the one thing I would have you say is that when you do update a resume, make sure you update it on both your LinkedIn and your Handshake. And cover letter, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to require it, but it's nice to have it if you want to. And also an updated transcript, because sometimes when you do apply to some of these accounting firms or finance companies, sometimes they might ask for an unofficial transcript. So I think you could do that via self-service. So if you want to do that, you can do that. But that, and then the courses, you're going to list down here, and then projects. So that is what Handshake is for anyone who's not know what it is. And also, the last thing I will also say, the Career Center, obviously, we do have our amazing Silberman Suite down here in the mansion. So if you want to go visit them after this meeting, please do. You're able to schedule appointments, get resources, get experience, and also answer questions from the Career Center, like surveys, and also all their upcoming career fairs they have, and all that other good stuff. So that is Handshake in a bunch. So let me get out of this. Let me get back to this. Alrighty. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about LinkedIn or Handshake before we move on to the next part? Anyone on Zoom? Nice choice. Okay. All right. So the next part is the resume. Resumes. Okay. So the resume basics. Self-evaluate. Evaluate all your past experiences. Include internships, coursework, projects, part-time volunteer work, extracurricular activities. And you also want to list transferable skills. Skills that can be used in any occupation. So for example, interpersonal, communication, leadership, organizational. And obviously the number one goal I will obviously say with resumes, and I think if anyone did go to Pat Wire and Paige's career fair workshops the last 2 weeks, the one thing they've probably said a bunch of times is to keep your resume 1 page long. Now this can vary if you're a grad student, if you have a lot more experience. Yes, over time it will grow to more and more pages, but for a college student, 1 page resume, 1 page resume, 12-point font, Times New Roman. So continuing off of that, your resume is one of the most important pieces of the job search. Employers take on average 10 seconds to review your resume for the first time. They don't take 30, they don't take a minute, 10 seconds, because they have a stack of applications to go through and they have so much little time to do it. So you want to make your resume stand out. And the biggest thing I'm going to highlight here, because I made it very obvious, resume does not get the job, they get the interview. So do not think by putting your resume out there that you're going to get the job or get the internship. That'll bring you over to the interview. So please make sure you nail that point down. So the purpose of resume, it's more than a list. It's a narrative of your journey. And not only that, if you haven't met the recruiter yet, it also could be the first impression you actually make. And you want to tailor your content for specific roles and industries, so you can have different resumes for different roles. So you can have a resume for accounting, a different resume for finance. It can be different. And a resume isn't just a document listing your experiences. It's a strategic tool that highlights your value to potential employers. Now, the key components to a resume. So obviously the header, make it easy to reach out. The objective, you want to set the tone of the resume. The experiences and skills, you want to showcase your value. And again, I will break this down very easy so everyone understands this. So again, the resume heading. So obviously up here, first and last name. That's what the resume header is. When you're putting on your resume, I would put either your business email or your school email, just because they're able to reach out to you better. Your resume introduction, that's basically, is like I said, your elevator pitch. Obviously, most of the time, you don't want to put on your resume, you want to put on your LinkedIn profile. Your education, so you would put the degree name and the majors. So for me, it would be Bachelor's of Science in Accounting at Fairleigh-Dickinson University. Start date May, August 2020 to May 2024. And then honors, you want to list any honors or awards you've received, then relevant coursework, and obviously going into right there, professional experience. Now, even before this, there could be relevant experience, so that could be anything that's not related to your major. However, anything that is related to your major, that would go under professional experience. And then skills, we list on the bottom here. You don't have to list like a lot. I would just list maybe like 5. And I think the biggest ones to list certifications, I would only pick the 3 that are most important to your major. So we're now going to go back to another resumes, do's. Keep your resume to 1 page long. Now, graduate students and more experienced professionals, it may be longer, but for their average college student, like I said, 1 page. 1 page. Use easy to read fonts like Times New Roman, and the font size should be about 10 to 12 points. The margin should be 0.5 and 1. The resume should be printed in black ink only. Black ink, no color, all black ink. Make sure all your information is 100% accurate and true, because I will tell you, they might look at your resume and think, oh, is this correct? They will look you up on Google, they'll look you up on LinkedIn, on Handshake, and make sure that's accurate. So make sure everything's 100% accurate. And resumes should be updated regularly to include new info. And every time I get done with an internship, I always put my last internship I've done, I usually update it. In fact, I have a folder on my MacBook where I have like a bunch of resumes from like the past 3 years, and it's like a lot. But again, make sure they update it regularly. And you may create different resumes for different positions and careers, just like I said earlier. Now, there are also don'ts of resumes. Oops. Do not freak out if you have no relevant experience. Whether you're fresh out of college or switching to a brand new industry or a brand new major, you can help bolster your lack of relevant work experience by listing your transferable skills, related side projects, and relevant coursework. Do not steal the job description's exact wording. If a company says it's looking for candidates who learn rapidly and have a diverse knowledge of programming languages, your skills section should read learns rapidly and has a diverse knowledge of programming languages. Instead, find a different way of saying the same thing. Maybe devote a resume bullet to a software you learned in 2 weeks, or list the 7 different programming languages you're familiar with as an example. And I think this one's the most obvious one. Do not include any personal information. No, do not put your age, do not put your date of birth, and please do not put your social security number in there. Please do not do that. Oh, jeez. Do not use pre-made resume templates, as they can be difficult to update and change. I would just start from a fresh canvas. Start on a blank piece of paper. Do not do pre-made. The last one, do not use pronouns anywhere in your resume. For example, I and mine. Don't do that. And what I have here is a list of action verbs. And basically you can add these to when you're doing your about page or when you're updating your resume. And when listing your experiences, you always want to start with strong action verbs. For example, instead of was responsible for, use managed or led or orchestrated. Quantify your achievements. For example, instead of increase sales, say increase sales by 20% in the first quarter. So again, that's the list of those. Now, formatting mistakes. Consistency is key. Fonts, bullet points, margins, and fun story. I actually had to update Gloria's resume. She wanted everything to be put right to the T, the margins, the bullet points. What I'm saying is everything has to be perfect. Your resume has to be perfect. Prioritizing information. You want to put your most relevant information first. So if you just got done with an internship, make that your top, professional work experience you had. And common pitfalls, typos, passive voice, overuse of jargon. This is why we have spell check on Word and Grammarly and all these other fun tools. Use them. Double check, triple check them. So here are some sample resumes. So again, these are some sample resumes I found online. Obviously, you guys can look at them for just a couple seconds, and then I will show you an example of a good resume and an example of a bad resume. All right. So here's an example of a great resume. I'm using myself as an example. So you see, I have myself and my name, big text with my email, my phone number, the education is there. So again, I put FDU Silberman College of Business, what I'm going for my bachelor's and my master's degree, because I'm in the 4+1 program, the GPA, and I was also in the honors program for 1 year. Then you put your relevant coursework. So I basically put in, all my accounting classes I've taken. And then what I did, then I listed off relevant experience. So that's basically your professional experience. So internship with PK O'Connor's Davies in the freshman pathways program, internship with them, internship with Deloitte, internship with Wiss & Co. That would be under relevant experience. For work experience, it can be anything outside of your major. So again, my father does own a flooring company, so I work with him part-time. Campus ambassador for UWorld, campus ambassador for NJCPA, and the chief programs officer of Buddy as work experience. And campus activities and leadership. They want to see that you're involved on campus. So if you're in a club, like, let's say for example, for this example, you're a member of Beta Alpha Psi, you're a member of a accounting society, put that on your resume. It will make you stand out as an example, like I do right here. And then organizations, if you're in any organizations, so this is anything outside of school, like if you're a member of NJCPA or AICPA or IMA, you would put that there. And then license certifications, I listed off 2 Bloomberg certifications I received 3 years ago, and then I also did an Excel course that actually has certification in on that. So that's an example of a great resume. Now, for every great resume, there's always going to be that one bad resume, and this is what that is going to look like. Yeah, it does not format correct. They did not use bullet points correctly. They have everything all over the place. So this is really, and there's spelling errors. This is an example of what not to do with your resume. And again, we have here at Silberman for Metro, we have Paige Altano, we have Mary Sakin, we have Pat Wire. Please go visit them to get your resumes reviewed. Please, and you can even ask me, because I've seen a bunch of them, and I know how to fix them up. So please utilize them. They're here to help you. All right. Any other questions before we move on to career fair prep? Because that's gonna be the big one for tomorrow. Anybody in the chat? Okay. All right, career fair prep. So this is gonna really be all the information you guys are gonna need for tomorrow, for the big day. So before we even get to that, what is networking? Networking is a two-way, mutually beneficial professional relationship. It allows you to gain insight, support, and advice. And you're able to learn strategies and tactics and also obtain referrals and searching for a mentor. And according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, 70% of all jobs are found through networking. So if you go to the career fair, you might be a part of one of that 70% that is actually, able to get an internship, land a job. So that's basically what networking is. Now, there are different ways to build your network. For example, and this is a perfect example, joining Beta Alpha Psi. That's an example of building your network. Visit your campus career center, aka visiting the Silberman Suite on both Florida and Metro. Just ask for a cup of coffee. It could be a virtual one, it could be in person. And develop your online presence. And do not forget the most important thing. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. And some networking to-dos. You want to have talking points. So for example, what are your career, and these are some of the things that some of the recruiters might ask you tomorrow, and just to prepare you for that. So some of the recruiters might say, what are your career plans? What classes are you taking? What are some of your interests? And you also want to make sure you're not afraid to make the first move. And again, it might be scary to make the first move. I know sometimes it is, but you have to, be genuine and express interest and just be yourself. And also ask thoughtful questions. And circling back to just being yourself, just like your LinkedIn and handshake presence, being your authentic self is the most important and powerful thing that you can do. And the last thing, you want to be engaged. What you hear is just as important as what you say. Be sure to listen and express interest in what other people are saying. All right, now here's some career and recruiting fair tips. that I have actually because I have done multiple careers from a company that I'm actually working with, and I have attended a bunch of them. So these are some of mine from a student standpoint, but also from a recruiter standpoint as well. So to begin, preparation. Review the employers on the career development website. In this case, for our sense, review them on Handshake. Spend time getting some background on organizations that interest you, that you can ask focused questions. Like example, if I wanted to maybe look up Deloitte, I would go on Handshake, I would look them up. I basically what internships they have opportunities and how, what work life would be like. This impresses representatives because it shows a genuine interest in them. Rest. Yes, it is true. You need to get a good night's rest for the big day. Your company research should be complete, so be sure to get a good night's sleep the evening before the fair. Very, very important you have enough sleep. All right, now the biggest one I will talk about, actually one of the two big ones I'll talk about here. Professional dress is key. Like I said in part 2, first impressions are very, very, very important. And please dress professionally. And when I mean professionally, I mean business professional, not business casual, not casual, business professional. Pretend as if you are going to an in-person interview. And for those who need a visual about what to wear, what not to wear, I have a picture of that. So for the men, well-groomed hairstyle, simple pattern tie, dark color conservative suit, and polished dress shoes with matching dark socks. For the ladies, subtle makeup and jewelry, skirt or dress in appropriate length, and then closed-toe shoes with a conservative heel. And again, this is what we want you to do for tomorrow, not to do this, but not to do this. So please, I know everyone, we're able to all do that. So now the next thing, bring many copies of your resume. Bring enough resumes for the employers you intend to meet, plus 20 more. And I usually bring around like 30 resumes with me because you never know who I'm going to meet. So I usually bring around 30. And again, make sure there's no errors, no spelling errors, no grammatical errors, and use resume paper. When I say resume paper, just use blank piece of paper. Allow yourself adequate time. Now, again, this varies because I do know there are virtual career fairs, and the virtual career fair, you basically will have 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes with an employer. That is different. But for an in-person one, it is very, very, very different. You want to arrive at the fair at the designated time with 30 minutes after the start time, or in my case, I would maybe arrive 15, 30 minutes early because basically you want to get yourself in there before all the madness happens. I did that last year. I actually meet up with around 5 or 10 firms before then, so I actually was able to get out of there real easy. But again, fairs close promptly, and you do not want to miss any opportunities. And again, when it does happen at 2 o'clock in the rec center, it's going to be packed. There's going to be a lot of students there for not only Forum, but for Metro. But again, make sure you have adequate time to meet with the firms that you want to meet with. Prioritize employers. Now, you may have little time to speak to employers because many other students may be interested in the same company, and it probably will happen. I'm just going to say it will probably happen. So budget your time wisely. Now, I do not know where each of them are going to be. So again, you have to be there early. That's why I say usually show up around 30 minutes early to see where everyone's located at. That way you want to point out, okay, I'm going to hit this firm up next, this, that, which actually segued us to have a game plan. See, Disney game plan. Great movie, by the way, actually. So you want to take a few minutes when you arrive to review the location directory of your employers. Now, I don't think they're going to have one tomorrow, but as basically they're going to have signs and like posters up of like where each firm is. So again, that's why I say get there early, so that way you're able to have enough time to assess the situations. And you want to explore other options. There may be employers who are added at the last minute. Explore those tables as well. When you have seen all the companies you set out to meet, visit the other tables. There may be hidden opportunities. And on top of that, it's a great networking tool as well. Okay, introductions. So this base segues us back to parts 1 and 1 where I talked about the elevator pitch. And I think if anyone's had Mary's sake for career strategy, she's always talked about having an elevator pitch, having that ready. So you want to offer the recruiter a firm handshake. Firm handshake, you look at their eyes, not gazing in their eyes, but just have a good eye contact, give them a firm handshake. and be ready to have a 30-second elevator pitch about what you're interested in and what you have to offer. So as an example, I'll use myself. Hello, my name is Jack Mitchell. I'm a senior accounting major at Fairleigh-Dickinson University with a 3.4 GPA average. And I am looking for a summer or spring internship in accounting and audit assurance. Simple as that. Simple as that. As an example. Hand your resume to the recruiter. It's also a nice gesture to welcome and thank the representative for coming to your college or university. And be professional when you speak and be mindful of nonverbal cues. For example, crossing your arms, fidgeting your fingers. I know that, we all are on our phones, like fidgeting our fingers on our phones, and eye contact. So, respect the employer's product samples. Now, I know tomorrow they're going to bring a lot of free stuff, and I know how we all love free stuff, but please, it is not a shopping spree. Take one. It's like where you go to Costco or like the supermarket, say, oh, here, try a free sample. You take one, but you want to take more, right? But in this sense, you want to do is just take one. And always check with the employers before taking material from their desk. And obviously, thank them for the gift as well. Mind your manners. And I really don't want to sound like a broken record player, but again, you are not only representing yourself, you're not only representing Accounting Society, Beta Alpha Psi Sigma, but you're also representing FDU Silberman and FDU as a whole. The organizations and the firms that are coming tomorrow are there because of your interest. You guys, the students, and anyone virtually as well, the students. And some representatives may even be alumni. And 10, Deloitte. I think Renee might be there tomorrow representing Deloitte. You never know. Be courteous to your fellow students waiting to speak with employers by keeping your introductions and questions brief and also respecting the employer's limits. Collect business cards. Now, this serves two purposes. First, you can take brief notes on the back of each card. For example, things you want to remember about the company representative when you write your thank you email. And second, you need the correct information to send a thank you note that acknowledges your appreciation of the employer visiting on campus and providing opportunities to you. And I know there is one task on Suitable Leadership have to create a business card. I do have one actually, but it's actually a digital business card. It's actually a pop-up business card actually. So actually, if you scan a QR code like this, you're able to get my whole business, business card on here. Saves me a bunch of time, saving the printer, saving on paper, not cutting down trees. So, all right, the biggest one I will talk about, and I think I really am going to harp on this one: clean up your social media identity. Be mindful of what you post with social media, because I will say something at the end of that it's actually kind of true. It's a true story, but remove or untag yourself in any unprofessional post and adjust privacy settings on your accounts if necessary. Never, and I mean ever, complain about a job, a coworker, or a boss on social media. And please do not take this lightly, take this serious. A typical first step an employer after reviewing a resume is searching for you online. And sometimes people say, oh, they don't look you up on LinkedIn. They don't search up on Google. Reality check, they do. And true story, because my mother was a guidance counselor at my old high school. She had a student of hers who was applying to go to West Virginia University, and the university actually rescinded the scholarship because she posted inappropriate stuff on her Instagram. So again, clean it up and search yourself on Google, including the image search, to see what comes up in the results list. And even just to add on to that, I will just note this one thing. You put a great deal of effort to make your resume look and sound perfect. Do not harm your chances of getting an interview with unprofessional content on social media. So Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, anything inappropriate. And my advice is, if you do have anything inappropriate, start fresh, delete the account and start fresh. I know it sucks, but you want to get the job. You want to get that internship. So again, please take this very, very seriously with your social media. The follow-up. So follow up via email or LinkedIn. And usually sometimes, and I think employers sometimes do like this, like maybe like handwritten notes. I always do email, but you always want to do is mention something specific that you talked about and thank them for the time, taking the time to speak with you. And do not make it the same one, because you may never know. One recruiter might be from another recruiter at another company, and they might say, oh, this one looks similar to the one that I received. Make it unique, make it different. And finally, be positive and smile. As Mary Sakin always says, let's see those smiling faces today. So the time spent with employers is a great learning and networking experience. Enjoy it. You're there to have fun, but also to network with these professionals. So have fun, smile, and be positive. All right, before we get to the Kahoot game, does anybody have any questions about what I discussed today? I know it was a lot of material, but does anybody have any questions? Once, twice, thrice. Okay. All right, it's time for the fun part now, the Kahoot game. All right, let me get this going. Oh boy, my MacBook's about to die. Hopefully we get through this without my MacBook dying, so. All right, let me get this up. Classic mode we're doing. Okay. All righty. Everybody want to get in? While we're doing that, just reminders, application deadlines are due the last Wednesday of this month. If you want to Venmo Dr. Collier or send a check, if you do want to send a check, just make sure you email Dr. Collier about that, and tutoring will start Friday. The link will be on our link tree. Give it about another minute or so. Should be about 10 questions, so it shouldn't be that hard. All right. And again, if you do miss it, I will have the code, will be in the bottom. But yeah, let's get this going. Go. All righty. Based on the presentation you guys learned today, here we go. Number one, when is the Accounting and Finance Recruiting Fair? I know Pat, Mary, and Paige reported this all week long in your inboxes, I know. All right, thank God everyone knows when that is. It's tomorrow. And by the way, for Metro, there will be transportation there. I forgot to mention that. There will be. If you do need that, please talk to Paige Sultano over at Metro about that. So, I mentioned in the beginning, so sorry. All right. Okay, next question. What is LinkedIn primarily known for? All right, good. Professional networking. Good, 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 good. All righty. All right, Joseph in the lead. Question 3. Why is LinkedIn important? Correct. For professional profile creation and networking. All right, Ricky, 3 questions in a row. Here we go. Question 4. Which of these is not a do for LinkedIn? Which of these is not a do for LinkedIn? Yes, send spam messages to your connections. That is not a do. All right, getting close. First, second, third. What is the primary purpose of a resume? I hope everyone gets this right, because I know I made all caps for that one time I did talk about it. All right, thank God. To get an interview. It's not to get the job, it's to get the interview. All righty. Man, real close here. 6th question. Which of these should not be included in a resume? Again, which of these should not be included in a resume? Very obvious. All right, personal information like age, date of birth, and social security number. Good job, everyone is getting good. Good job, everyone's knowing what we're talking about here. Question 7. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, what percentage of jobs are found through networking? one that get wrong, but let's see. Let's see. Good, 70%. Hey, getting close. Question 8. What should you do before attending a career fair? Review the employers attending. In this case, review them on handshake. All right, getting close here. 9th question. Why should you clean up your social media identity when job hunting? Game with callers. All right, because employers might check your online presence, and probably 100% of the time, they always do. All right, now this last question isn't really going to be asked in the fair, but it's just something fun. Is there a BAP meeting next week? See, this is going to test who actually looked at the schedule. So it's okay if you get this right or wrong, but somebody get it right. Like a 25% chance. You have 1/4 chance of getting it right or wrong. So no, yes, there is no meeting next week because you guys are going to be off next week. So that means no meeting next week. The following week, Bank of America, Anthony Spadaro will be coming here in person. Again, tell your friends to come to that event. But let's see who got the top spot. Let's see, we got Ricky third, okay. Good. Adam second, and we got, man, back to back. Joe, man, geez, you freaking won. You won we did the Kahoot for the intro meeting, and we did that. Man, congrats. Congratulations on that. Awesome job. I saw your chat. All right, great job, everybody, on that. Hopefully this meeting was informative. I know it seemed kind of boring because I know we're talking about stuff, but this is stuff you guys are going to learn for tomorrow. And again, tomorrow, the career fair, 2 to 5 p.m. in the Ferguson Rec Center. I do know that I will be there. I think Dr. Collar will be making an appearance as well. And again, for Metro, there will be transportation there. Please talk to Paige Altano. Just a couple last minute reminders, just to remind everybody, if you have not send your application for BAP, please send that to the BAP email along with either the Venmo of your application dues, and then that tutoring is going to be Friday. The link is on our link tree on our Instagram, and then next week there will be no meeting. The following week, Anthony Pizarro will be coming in person, and then I believe that will be all. But again, that is it. Thank you guys so much. Again, and by the way, for anybody, if you know anybody who's interested in joining BAP but cannot make a meeting, these meeting will be put on YouTube every Friday. So you get the recording from Kyle every Friday. They will be up on there. Have them write a 1-page summary. It could be bullet points, be sensitive to what they learned. They send it out to the BAP email. We'll give them participation credit for it if they want to come to Beta Alpha Psi and they want to count for their attendance. Because I know some people cannot make it today because they have, extracurriculars or student athletes. So again, we want to give them the opportunity to do it as well. So does anybody have any questions before we part ways for the week? Anybody once, twice? Okay. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you all here in 2 weeks for when Bank of America come in. Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Thank you, Professor McGregor. Thank you.